Well, howdy folks. Shawn here from hikingwithshawn.com. And today we're at Millstone Lake here in the Shawnee National Forest near Simpson, Illinois. And this lake is, whoa! This is the boat ramp, and there's usually a nice little area down here you could park and, you know, make a campfire along and stuff like that. But this lake is high. You can see the emergency spillway structure over there. Usually you could see quite a bit of that. It's all sorts of ice. Yeah, debris here. All sorts of ice breaking and falling. It's pretty crazy. So we're gonna hike some of this area today. Probably go about 5 miles and enjoy it. And you get to come with us. So stay tuned. All right, folks, we just did some climbing. Now we got this pretty boulder field. Pretty views of the lake. And you can see how steep it is. And that's pretty much what we did on a horse trail. That's fairly easy for at least a horse rider, probably not the horse. But we're gonna hike to this one trail system and take it kind of around the lake area, some bluffage, and then enjoy. All right, folks, some cool prints. So you can see a turkey prints in this drag. We're thinking it's its spur. So.
But look, this here, I feel like this is a coyote, cause there, and then that looks like indentions for
coyote. I think we may see some bobcat prints.
Or it could be fox.
Or fox. All right, this is a river to river trail junction. If you go right, you'll go back to the area we just drove through and go left, and this will take us where we want to go.
Look at the moles.
Oh yeah, the moles are getting through there.
Tunneling
under. Winter definitely gives you all sorts of cool stuff to look at. All right, folks, on the river to river here, and this is a pretty gnarly part of the trail. Four-wheelers come back here in side-by-sides and stuff like that, and they tear it up. It's been a problem for a while. I get they want to have fun, you know, I totally do, I understand, but I just think we need to designate some trails for them, and not on the river to river trail. I mean, I got into an argument with something online once, and you know, they called me names, of course, because they're keyboard warriors. But you know, they said if I didn't like it, stick to my own trails. That I have so many trails to choose from. Yet this is the river to river trail that is the most popular trail among legal users. So you know, they're stupid for what they said. But if they all teamed up and tried to create a non-profit and did some trail work and stuff, because our taxpayer money doesn't go, you know, that's not a good excuse. They need to raise money just like everyone else, because they damage it more than anyone, including horses. So if they got together and formed an organization, I'm pretty sure that they could get trails here. But you know, they gotta do it the right way, because as long as they keep doing this, people are gonna fight against them, you know, and they're never gonna win. So that's my opinion. That's what I think they should do. Because hey, if we had four-wheeler ATV trails through here, and I could rent an ATV or find one at a reasonable price, I'd love more than anything to try that out. That'd be fun. I used to ride four-wheelers when I was a kid. I had a lot of fun doing that. All right, folks. We're on trail 32032. And it's nice to get away from the mangled up, hilly river trail for a minute and get on a nice horse trail. horse hiker trail that's not so mangled up. So for now, not yet. But it's pretty nice. Now we're gonna hike towards the Bay Creek, Millstone Lake, Bay Creek. Yeah, turkey tracks all over the place. Right there. But we'll hike towards the edge of that, see some bluffage, maybe get down in some of it. And you get to follow along. Alrighty folks, we are now off trail, trying to follow some bluffage. It's turning into bluffage. Very broken up right now, but we just got to be careful because it's kind of steep. There's patches of snow and ice, and you know, briars and hidden rocks and all sorts of skunks. Yeah, there could be skunks. But there's some cool bluffage up ahead, that's for sure. So we're gonna keep on heading towards it. Nice chunk of bluffage here.
And there's some bluffage there. There's bluffage everywhere.
Bluffage everywhere. Michellage.
Quit.
It's quiddage. I think quiddage is a word. I think that's a sport. Quiddage. Little bird. Very cool. Almost too cool for school. Check out that conglomerate. It's a pretty cool little area. Very cool.
What are you looking at?
Huh?
This tree's looking at me.
Oh. Icicles. Icicles. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Little birds flying around. It's kind of cute. They're just kind of following them. Lead me to the Trojan bird. Just looks like a big bird with a bunch of little birds inside of it. Yeah, I'm a goofball. Michelle tells me all the time. Just love the rocks. I'm addicted to bluffage. Comment below if you're addicted to bluffage. Another cool bit of bluffage. Chunk of bluffage.
Look at that bluffage hugger.
Bluffage hugger up there.
Look how it's spread out. That's pretty.
He's doing some hugging. We're gonna have to go over there and get close. Check it out.
That's pretty.
Pretty.
And there's Earl's cousin Burl.
Yeah.
Burl's cousin Earl.
Burl's cousin.
The
Burl family.
No, look at this on this side. This is crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm always fascinated by that.
That is.
Sad that the tree's dead, but.
Yeah. But it's a home, I'm sure, for critters.
One's probably gonna run out and get you.
Probably.
I won't laugh too much.
Yeah. Because you know it's gonna happen to you. Alright folks, really cool scene there. And this thing. And then there's some bluffage up top. We're gonna probably have to make our way up to. That looks pretty rad. Pretty rad. This is cool here though. Pretty cool here. Pretty cool. little bluffage hugger up there. Wow, that's cool. Pretty neat. Pretty interesting. Really cool scene here. Nice bluffage. We're gonna turn this corner here and hopefully get to the top. Behind this where some even cooler bluffage lies. All right, folks, all this is stacked. It's a wall, stacked wall. And train.
I mean, it's all the way through, look.
Yeah, it's stacked all the way through. We were lured to this area. Gonna go check it out, but it's definitely stacked, and it's some big boulders. Would took a couple of people. So that's really interesting. All right, the wall, fort wall thing goes kind of up to, you know, it keeps stacking it.
Oh, wow. Look up there.
Yeah, I seen that. It goes up to here, and there's just all sorts of rocks just kind of hanging, wedged in. It's very odd. It's very different looking. Just a little shelter. A lot
I
of
wouldn't want to be in
conglomerate.
this particular spot when the big one happens.
No, but it's just quite odd that there's this big wall stacked up, and it's definitely human. And it took some of them rocks. Took
several, at
took
least,
a couple
at
people.
least 3.
Yeah. So here's more of the wall. You can see it's very stacked. I mean, there's some big rocks on there. Over here. Very interesting. Not really not really a stone fort looking wall, but could have been settlers. Maybe modern. Can't really say, but it's definitely stacked really well here. So it's really interesting. All right, folks, back on a trail. Should be 32. Yep, I see a blaze up here. And it just kind of switchbacks you kind of down. Then we'll probably leave the trail again once we get past this. If we see bluffage. And should be getting into more defined bluffage area. A little bit more constant bluffage. At least that's what it looked like on the map. Still pretty, really pretty. That lake is pretty. Eventually we'll kayak it. We haven't had a chance to yet. That's kind of on our list. I think every time we tried, it's either been 2 down or 2 up. But in reality, if it's warm and it's up, it's probably the best time to do it.
Yeah, you want to do it when it's warmer and flooded a little so you can go further down. Yeah,
especially because this creek or this lake will turn into a creek, Bay Creek, and it'll take you all the way to Bellsmith Springs. Now, there's going to be a lot of trees across the creek and stuff that, you know, is going to make it impassable because they don't really, you know, do anything with that. All right, folks, so there's some really cool bluffage down below, but just can't get to it because the water's too close to the, you know, we wouldn't be able to walk. So one of these days when that water subsides and we can find a way down that's not too crazy, I'm sure there's a way somehow, we'll try to edge that. But over on the other side, so it's really cool that the water's kind of flowing over there, but it's all kind of icy through here. And I don't know if you can see it. You might be able to see how it kind of curves and you could see the ice, and
the sun doesn't hit it.
yeah, the sun ain't hitting it. But we can hear icicles falling and stuff. It's kind of cool. All right, folks. A little too steep to the point we wanted to get off trail. And there's just really no bluffage down there. So we're gonna get back on 32. We're on it now. And hike to a point to where could be more bluffage. Looks like we can get down, check that out, and just make a loop, do a loop, get about 4 or 5 miles in. So, feels pretty good out here. You know, I'm not really cold. Warming up more than anything. Sun's out, it's pretty. So, just gonna enjoy ourselves. All right, folks. Still on trail 32. Making our way through the snow. It'd be a lose-lose though if the snow wasn't here, it'd be soggy. So it'd be like being on snow anyway. Cool looking area here. Quite interesting. Thought it was like a home site, but I didn't see anything, so just tops of some bluffs. Not a whole lot of bluffage. A little bit though. Not very tall bluffs. Kind of more. Yeah, nothing crazy. Nothing worth getting down for. You probably hear a lot of trains. It's a pretty active CN track. And I don't care to say this, but it's all part of the Edgewood cutoff system. So there's about 2 or 3 tunnels, and they tunnel under the forest, and trains actively move through them. So if you ever hike onto them, for starters, you'll be trespassing, but you definitely don't want to go into them, because if for some reason you make the wrong mistake, you can get hit. They're not going to stop. They're going 60 miles per hour, and it'll take probably 7 to 8 miles to come to a complete stop once you put a train in an emergency. I used to work with them, and they used to go really slow, and it'd still take a long time. So don't try your luck with a train. Stay out of those tunnels. All right, folks, 32F. Luckily I seen it, because Michelle was going a different way. We just hit mile 3. All right. This trail, 32F, will eventually hit the river trail. And we'll go right, and then it'll take us back to where we parked. Should be about 4 or 5 miles, something like that. But it's definitely been challenging hiking and this stuff. But, you know, we're gonna get out in it. We're not gonna sit at home. That's one thing. It's not for us. And to be honest, it's nice out, you know. I'm not all layered up. I have base layers, you know. So it's I mean, I got my hoodie, but I don't have like a bunch of insulated stuff. It's really not that cold. Sun's out, makes it feel good. And it's just a nice walk. No one else is out here. At least they weren't when we started. Could be when we get back. But just a really good walk. Really good trek through the Shawnee. Nice little pond. Uprooted tree along the trail here. So, all right, folks. Looking for a whale. We're in a homeside area. Old trees. So, should be a whale somewhere. Looks like the cornerstones over here. Yep. Yeah, I'd say this is the old foundation area. Well should be close by. Definitely cornerstones.
Look, there's 10.
Yeah, wow, that was a big one. Michelle's in the middle of it right now, so.
There's
10, yeah.
like 10 roofs or something.
It's a big foundation.
That could be over the well that you're standing on.
I think it's corner because there's a bigger one there, but it goes all the way over. It's a big one. Yep. Got some tin.
Yep.
Somewhere there's a whale. Well. It's right up there. All right, folks, got a little camp spot. There's a toilet, a little toilet bucket, has a bag in it. We got a fire pit here and enough area to put a couple tents down. So probably hunters use it, maybe through hikers, but they might drive to this point. Might be a road you can drive at some point. I don't know. I don't think it is. It didn't have any indication that it was seasonally open. But pretty cool nonetheless. Went about 4 miles. Alright, folks. We're heading towards where we started on the Trail 32, the Ruby. Well, 32 is what we were on. This is technically river to river. But the Ruby was named after someone with the name Ruby, who favored this trail for horseback riding. So that's where that comes from. But it's a favorite trail amongst horseback riders, hikers, and some people are not going to like this, mountain bikers. So whether or not mountain bikers are allowed to be here or not, I'm not the mountain bike police, but obviously I'm a mountain biker. I've never ridden this area, but what are you laughing at?
About went down several times.
Yeah, it's kind of moist. A little moist through here. But, oh, here's where we turned. That's where we got on the Ruby. But now we're gonna head back. So, this was a lot different than what it was when we first came up a couple hours ago, almost 4 hours ago. A lot different. So, pretty crazy. Crazy looking. Most of the snow is gone.
Yo, we're gonna go this way.
We're gonna go this way to try to get down a little easily.
To not die.
A little easier.
Stay upright.
Because it was pretty steep coming up, and I don't know, it just might be hard going down. All right, folks. Almost back to the truck. We've went over 5 miles. Been out here almost 4 hours. And did some sort of loop-de-loop. Got to figure out how to get down. That's gonna be the hard part. But it's been pretty good. Good trip. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All that was snow covered. And now it's not. That sun has just been baking. And I'm sure it's melted into the lake. And ran off into the lake. But yeah, till next time. See you on the trail.